Hey everybody, welcome back to Fractured Poet, a podcast for all of you poetically insane individuals who love getting lost in the art of poetry. Podcasting from Ontario, California, I am your host, Katrina Wisniewski, just another person in the world striving to make sense of it all. So today's episode is titled Spur of the Moment because most, if not all, of the poems that I'm going to recite this episode were all poems that were spur of the moment. Just came out of nowhere, started writing, and that's the way it is. So I'm going to get started. And the first poem is called A Hitchhiker's Dream. A hitchhiker's dream, to reach a destination and be a passenger of many, a life to live by. A hitchhiker's dream, to beat the odds, avoid the weirdos, and get to his destination in one piece. A hitchhiker's dream, to get lost in the thoughts, losing sense of reality as the clock strikes midnight. A hitchhiker's dream, to remember to keep his mouth shut and disengage in any wrongdoings, a mistake often made. A hitchhiker's dream suddenly turned to a nightmare, catching a ride with death and making wishes upon the crescent moon. A hitchhiker's dream, with an ending not so great, a twisted plot to a thrilling story, a lesson to be learned. Okay, so this poem was written on June 22nd of 2021, and to be honest, where this kind of stemmed from, well, not kind of, where it stemmed from was a Stephen King story, believe it or not. I was actually reading a book of Stephen King's, Everything's Eventual, I think it was called, and in that book were a lot of short stories. And Writing the Bullet was one of those short stories. And I happened to go looking on one of those live streaming websites. I don't even remember which one it was, but I searched up Stephen King and Writing the Bullet came up. So I'm like, okay, I just read the story, so why not watch the movie? So I watched the movie and it put the story in perspective, more or less, and I had some strange urge to want to write a poem about it. So I wrote a poem about it. So I'm not going to really give away the story, but in Writing the Bullet, there was a hitchhiker involved, which is where the hitchhiker's dream came from. It's not like totally about the story, it's not even summarizing the story, it's just bits and pieces of the story are in it. So that's pretty much where the poem came from. And with that, I will move on to the next poem, which is called Life's Scavenger Hunt. Let's play a game of hide and seek. I know all the right places. I promise to make it worth your while. Meet me where the sky turns blue, a place where birds sing their morning tunes. There you will find trinkets of little value. Keep them close, for I am keeping tally. With every find will be another clue. Take heed and learn to follow through. At the end of every clue, there will be a cryptic message from yours truly. Meet me where interaction is scarce, a place to capture your thoughts in private. Here you will discover a realm beyond your imagination, an endless game of truth or dare, a game I'm sure you'll never win. So, truth be told, I don't really know where this poem came from. This has 3 different dates written above the poem on when I started it and when I ended it. It was in January, so the first time I attempted to write this poem, it was July 9th of 2021. And then between July 10th and when I finished it, July 21st of 2021 is when I actually finished it. It took me a long time to, well, not a long time, but long enough to finish this poem. I honestly don't remember what the process was in this poem. I don't even know where my thought process was. I don't even know, but it was a poem that was in the spur of the moment. It just came out and um just that's what it is. Oh, I remember. Okay, never mind. Scratch what I just said. I think this actually started out as a Facebook story or it was an Instagram story and I screenshotted it. I don't even think I shared it because I wasn't done. I screenshotted it because whatever I said seemed like a really good poem. I just had to figure out the rest of it. So I had screenshotted it and it was in my gallery for a while. And then I happened to come across it one day. I'm like, okay, I need to tackle this thing. It's going to bother me. Has some really good stuff in here that I can turn into a poem. So that's kind of where it was. I don't remember which parts were in the story, but it turned into what you just heard. So there's a story behind it. So I lied. And as I was talking about it, I remembered. So yeah. All right, so on to the next one. And again, if you hear any clicking like you probably do now, I have not written out a script. So I have all of my Word documents of the poems I have written out on my desktop and I'm just clicking them as I'm going. So this next poem is called Sometimes. Sometimes I question why I exist. Why do I breathe? Why do I utter these words? Sometimes I wonder why I think, the thoughts that creep into my head and cloud my so called intelligence. Sometimes I forget to be happy, to look at my surroundings and see everything in shambles. What's the point of shedding a smile? Sometimes I regret the things I say. Will they have an impact? Will they have any influence at all? Sometimes. Just sometimes. Okay, so this poem was started on July 28th of 2021 and something about August 2nd. I don't know if I had um changed anything or whatever, but I think I had started this and finished this poem on July 28th. So I'm not, I guess where this poem came from, probably just getting lost in my thoughts, I guess you can say, and just where I was at that point. I can't really go deeper into that because I'm sure one, the poem kind of already hits major points and probably where my mindset was. And two, I don't exactly remember the particular moment where I started writing this poem and where exactly my mind was. But yeah, that's pretty much where everything was. So I'm going to move on to the next one. And this one is called To Breathe You In. To breathe you in, inhaling you ever so carefully, capturing the essence of your existence. To breathe in the sound of your voice, feeling the vibrations travel deep within my lungs. You are intoxicating. With each breath I take, I can't help but close my eyes and take you in, wanting nothing more. I crave to know the way you work, how you function, and the way you view the world's insanities. The thought of you intrigues me, wanting to learn everything about you, wanting to share ideas and your uttermost desires. To breathe you in is a step into the future, for I cannot see my life without you. Okay, so this poem was written between July 20th and July 21st of 2021. I don't even know what I was referring to. I could have been talking about somebody, but I'm not really sure. If I was talking about anybody, it would be my fiance. But I honestly don't even know if I was referring to him. Like I said, I don't remember some of these poems that I wrote, even though they were kind of recent. Um, so yeah, I can't even really talk about it because I don't even know. So I'm just going to move on to the next poem, and this one is called Evil Temptress. Why can't you see that I'm only a figment of your imagination? For each time you close your eyes, you see me, an evil temptress. I can make you do whatever I want, make you feel a certain way, convince you to say the unthinkable. I am your guilty pleasure. But I dare you to open your eyes and try to forget, because you can't, you won't. In your memory, I will remain. In your thoughts, I will creep. Okay, so I don't remember exactly when I wrote this poem. I don't have a date on it, but I do, however, remember that it was formed on Facebook, and I did share it on Facebook and my Instagram. So if you guys are following on either Instagram page or Facebook, you'll probably know and see that. So it was sometime in July, but I honestly don't even know where this came from. It just came out of the blue, hence the spur of the moment title of the poem. It just came out. I don't even know where it came from. I could have been listening to music for all I know, and it just popped out. There's no hidden meaning behind it. It's not about anybody in particular. It's not even about me. It just came out. So, as most majority of my poems, that's pretty much where that came out. So, there's nothing to really say other than what I just said. So, again, I will just move on to the next poem. And for the moment, I don't even know if there is a title to this one. I don't have a title written, but I'll just say that this one doesn't have a title. So, here is the next poem. I often ponder what my place is in this life, in this world, waking up each day, feeling so lost and out of place. In many ways, I feel invisible to most and non existent to others. Sometimes I cry, giving in to the emotion. Sometimes I can't help but get angry, thinking it'll actually make a difference. Maybe I should slink off and hide in the shadows, see if anyone notices. Who's down for a game of hide and seek? This poem was written on August 6th of 2021. Those couple weeks prior to writing this poem, my head wasn't really in a good place. Just the way life has been, the way the world has been, my mind has creeped into many different areas, and I personally feel lost and out of place. I feel a lot of times that I don't belong. When it comes to jobs, I've had a really hell of a time trying to find a job, and I feel like I don't fit anywhere. The people I'm around, sometimes I feel like I don't fit in with familiar faces. The conversations that take place, I feel like I'm not a part of. I feel like I don't relate in a lot of ways, or I'm just kind of stuck in the corner, and all of those thoughts kind of got to me, and that's where this poem came from. I just, I don't know, maybe it is all in my head, maybe it's not, I don't know, but this is where it took me, and I'm going to say this is about me because it is. And these feelings, emotions are real. Everything that I wrote in there is true. So, yeah, I don't really want to go too much more deeper because I don't know where that'll take me. And I don't really necessarily want to fall apart on my podcast because I don't think any of you want to hear that bullshit. So, I'm going to knock that off and I'm going to go on to the next one. And this one was also written on August 6th. And this one was called Things I Haven't Done. They tell you to never look back, forget the past, and move on. They tell you stories of your misspent youth, creating a three-dimensional hole that can't be filled. Making a list of things I haven't done, procrastination versus excuses, or simply controlled by fear. Who can tell? Chicken shit or reasons unknown. I count the chances I didn't take and the opportunities I never obtained. What the fuck did I do to all the things I haven't done? So again, this one was written on August 6th of 2021, and this poem was actually written while I was listening to a particular song. I happened to be browsing through Spotify, going through the release radar playlist, and I happened to come across a Seether song called What Would You Do? And listening to that song on repeat, getting lost in the lyrics, I came up with this poem. I don't know if it really pertains to me. It could. I was listening, like I said, I was listening to the lyrics and I might have even had like a mini self-reflection session while listening to the song. The lyrics triggered a lot, and I guess this poem does reflect me in some ways, hence the title, Things I Haven't Done. Just kind of listening to the song, paying attention to each word of the song, and kind of realizing certain things, the things I haven't done, the things, am I making excuses? Is it procrastinating or is it simply fear? Am I being a chicken shit? Or the things I haven't done, are they for reasons unknown? Stuff like that. So this song was triggered by a song I was listening to, and this is the end result. So yeah, I can't really get any more detailed than that. So I will move on to the next one. And this one is called To, as in TO. To rely on such conformities and be compliant is utter rubbish. To have a voice of your own and be criticized for individuality. To follow the lead, but never becoming the leader. To speak words that reek the truth, yet somehow coming up empty with conviction. A conspiracy to strategize failure, allowing no room for success, accomplishing absolutely nothing. Or maybe that is the point. To develop a blueprint of life's secrets, only to be proven wrong and thrown into the lion's den. To create such absurdity, I think I'll throw in the towel and just call it quits. Because in the end, it's all bullshit anyway. I don't know when I wrote this one. I'm going to say probably around the same time as like August 6th or sometime before then. And I, again, don't remember how this poem even came up. For all I know, I could have been listening to that Seether song. Um, I don't even really know what this poem was pertaining to. It probably nothing, but yeah, I just getting lost in my words again, spur of the moment. These are just, I don't know how many poems I wrote in one sitting. I wrote a lot of poems. So whatever came out is what came out. And I'm going to assume this one was another one. So there's that one. I have three more that I'm going to recite to you. And this one is called Saltless Tears. What's a girl to do when she finds herself huddled in a corner, crying endless tears? Does she question her emotions or her inability to control her outbursts? Often left to cry tears of isolation, the fear of coping with this life alone, crippled by default, how does she deal? Her tears no longer taste of salt, for they have created a crater so big she has cried what remaining tears she had left. The lack of support and urge to kick her while she's down, there was never a doubt. As her tears continue to fall, she becomes numb to it all, leaving her to wonder if she was meant to be. This one was also a August 6th splurge. Um, Again, I was in my own head, and this could be about me. Maybe it is about me, I don't know. But um, yeah, I don't remember if I was listening to a song while writing this poem. I might have been. I don't remember. These are just things that were coming out. I don't remember what I was doing. Probably nothing, just getting lost in my thoughts, and out came this poem. So, and for all I know, I was crying, hence the title. So that could have been another trigger. But again, I won't get too much into that and excuse the clicking. Like I said, this is not being or was not written out, so I'm kind of winging it at the moment and clicking away. So I apologize. So this next one is called Matter of Time. There's a rage inside of me I cannot control, nor can I explain. To understand where it comes from, keeping it hidden is nearly impossible. Feeling emotional for all the right reasons, yet this anger continues to boil. What should I do? These thoughts inside my head are quickly getting the best of me. I'm afraid there's no way out. What is wrong with me? How do I make this stop? Not feeling like myself? How do I get back to normal? Reaching the end of my rope. This might be the last straw. This rage building inside of me has found its outlet. A vulnerable girl with too many hidden demons. It's only a matter of time. Another poem written on August 6th. Again, there was an August 6th splurge. So, this one, again, I'm going to say is very personal, and it is about me. My head has not really been in the right place or a good place, and it did describe a lot of things that I was going through at that moment, and maybe for at least a couple weeks at that point. And I just decided to write on it, kind of questioning, what the fuck is wrong with me? Why am I feeling this way? Why do I have so many triggers that are making me feel this way? What is making me feel this way? Is there a who is making me feel this way? I don't know, but I decided to write about it, and that's where it went. And again, I'm not going to sit here and elaborate because I don't really think it's necessary. I think the poem kind of explains itself. And if anyone knows me and if I have said any of this in any small version to anybody, you'll know what I'm talking about. And if you don't know me, I've never talked to you before, you don't know my situation, then the poem kind of gives you that leeway to sort of figure me out and the shit that goes on in my head. So I'm going to move on to the next poem and the last poem. And this one is called Tell Me. Tell me something I do not know, a secret to remain hidden, a memory never to be told, a story yet to be revealed. Tell me about a love once lost, a sorrow felt so deeply it pierces the heart. Tell me why two wrongs don't make a right, even though your intentions were good. Tell me about the time you forgot to remember, a moment of weakness, a day when the sun hid behind the summer clouds. Tell me something you wouldn't say, a forbidden thought, or a lie with a hint of truth. Tell me why I should care. Convince me there's a life to live, a world to discover, people to love, the air that I breathe. Tell me something. Another August 6th poem. I definitely went on a tangent on that day, but and this one's a little deep. Um I don't really think it was relating to anything. I just, again, it came out. I could have been listening to that "See Their" song again. Like I said, that thing was on repeat, so I just let the words get in my head and let the shit form. So that's where this poem was. It's very deep. Um, I don't even really know what else to say about it. So, with that, I'm gonna say that that concludes the show. And to all of those that are always tuning in, and even those who are just joining in, I hope you enjoyed what you heard and tune in next time. You can catch this episode and future episodes at anchor.fm/fractured poet. This episode was written and produced by me, Katrina Wisniewski. Music by Alternative Rock Volume 1 and Rock Electronica Volume 4 from freeplaymusic.com. You can also follow me on Instagram at both Fractured Poet and Fractured Goddess. Fractured Poet is obviously all about my poetry. Fractured Goddess is more of my personal profile. And as always, thanks for listening. And until next time, guys.